every time I see something new happening, I'm always observing different things. So one of the things I say to entrepreneurs, which is really relevant perhaps for this, is let's say you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but you haven't. There are a lot of businesses being created around you. And if you have any tech affinity at all on TechCrunch, you can go see Series A, what's getting funded. And if you know technology, you may have a point of view, will that business succeed or not? If you know business to consumer, which is my niche, I would have a point of view. And then you watch. I always watch, and I do my own investment thesis. Would I invest in this? Where are they going to hit the wall? Where are they going to have problems? Is this really a fundable business?
And you don't necessarily invest. This is just, you sit there and watch.
No, it's just to learn.
Sure. I love it.
You're always observing from afar, right? So you're sort of always looking at it from a case study. And then you see, did they get their next round? What have they said about the business? And then 5 years out, where are they? Maybe not even 5 years, 2 years out. And then you can say, here was the thesis of the business. Did it work? Did it not work? Why do you think it didn't work? Why do you think it did work? What surprised you? Same thing with this situation we're in with the pandemic, looking at leadership styles. What's been effective? What hasn't? What attitude is going to take us forward? What's not? Said another way, everything around you, if you want to be a good leader, there are examples of leadership that are alive every day.
Yep.
And you can learn from it. There's examples of businesses that are failing or succeeding every day. And even though you're not in it and maybe you really don't know what's going on, you can read a lot about it and form your own premise. Because listen, and you can't really listen to the entrepreneur, because a really good entrepreneur is never going to tell you what went wrong. Like, my premise was wrong, or, when it fails, they're like, boy, was I off. They'll say something else. A really good entrepreneur will say the truth, but most of them are still believing their own bullshit.
I was going to say, I would say what went wrong, and you would say what went wrong.
I would, but most of them are still believing their own bullshit.
Most of them won't.
Most of them won't. So they're going to say, well, blah, blah, blah. And in fact, the premise was just stupid. And so I just, as an entrepreneur in waiting, I would say, test it. Test out your skills. I would also say, and this is true of me, boy, I was so envious of entrepreneurs. And it's like, well, why was I envious? Because I wanted to be one. So don't be envious, do it. You know what I mean? It's like, just do it. Because when you're really envious of something, it's more because you're not doing it yourself. That's where that stems from. So I'd say, just do it. The other thing I think is always fascinating, and I'm sure you get this because we all get it. People come up and they, I had that idea. It's like, okay, That's good. Ideas are great. That's where you start. But it's what you do with the idea that's the difference between, running your own business and not.